There we go.
While we're at it. We're talking about leadership, man.
Leadership is tough, man. Oh, man. So for my birthday, a good friend of mine, he surprised me, probably one of the best birthday gifts.
I think I saw it on your story.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He brought me this, the Mamba Mentality, Kobe Bryant book, and I was like, so in one of the pages, it says that everybody has the potential to be a leader or to be good, but only a few have it within them to be great. And I don't know, man, just that concept of being great and wanting something when you're already so far ahead. And I like to use you for example a lot of times because you are so I think of you as a someone on the track, and let's for example you're Usain Bolt. You sprint off, obviously you're going to be ahead, but with most people I would imagine them to just look back like, oh damn, I'm so far ahead anyways, I'm just going to slow down. But you don't have that. You're just like just continuously Usain Bolt. And I just maybe share something with the audience about what drives you to be great, because you already have everything basically, like all the pieces of the puzzle, and you're much closer to the legacy that you really want to leave than most people can ever imagine to be. So what is it that pushes you to want to still strive for that, even though you're so far ahead of the track on the track?
Yeah, the few days that I do sleep, I wake up and I feel there's more. Every day, I feel like there's more to do and there's work to be done. And it's just that feeling that there's more and that you're not there where you should be. And I think really delving down is like, I did all this cool shit, but wait a minute, if I got here, how much further can I get?
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of this too, is that you're never done, really. And I think that's just something that some of the people will have and some people don't, is about continuous hunger, okay? I'm gonna tell people a story. So I was in the Netherlands, and I was talking to a guy over there who was waiting tables. He was always there super early, and I used to go there because I used to go out for a run. Always there clean as a kid. And he was I was like, man, it was, I was talking to Dutch. I was like, man, it's awesome. I always see you out there. I always go keep people compliments. When I see people in the gym super early, I was like, man, it's good to see you as always. And I was like, man, you're up. And he's like, I asked him about a story. He's like, you know what? I'm from the Ivory Coast. I came here as a refugee, and I had this crazy story. And I was like, man, what drives you? I asked him. And he said something to me in Dutch. He said, and I'll translate, he said in Dutch, mensen die honger hebben, bewegen anders. And it means people who are hungry, they move differently. They are just different. And people who are hungry, they talk differently. They are different. There's real hunger. And some people aren't hungry. There's no hunger behind their actions. If you go through a fast for a long time and you haven't eaten, or you feel fucking hungry, you move differently. You think differently. Your brain is wired differently, and you want to do whatever it takes to get that goal. And you're never there. You're like, man, I want that food. I want that. If you're really hungry, dude, you can't think about anything. All I can think about is food all day. There's like nothing else. And for normal people who are not hungry, they're like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, oh, pizza, like, you can't stop. All you want to talk about is food. And for a normal person, it's like, dude, are you okay? Are you sick? Or what's wrong with you? And you're like, yeah, I'm just in a different state of mind. And so I always remember what that guy told me. And he said, people who are hungry, we move differently. Yeah. And you can see that in people who really want to achieve something, and people who also kind of want to achieve something. The people who really want to achieve something and who actually end up achieving it are people who are fucking hungry. Yeah. And I wake up every day hungry, man. I'm fucking starving. I'm starving, and that's the truth. I'm a starving man.
But the funny thing is that you're starving, but you have a buffet.
Yes, but for me, I'm still starving, and I'm starving for more. And it's just like within me, I'm like, I wake up, I'm like, oh man, I got to do this podcast with Leo. Oh, I got to do this 4th of July. It's like, it doesn't matter, because honestly, in the big scheme of things, like what is like extra more, like it doesn't do anything for my bank account, to be really honest at this point. And I'm saying that for a reason. The reason why I'm saying that is because it's not about that anymore. It's about, I'm hungry and I want more. Yeah. I went to that buffet and I want to go back to that McDonald's. I want to go back to that buffet. I want to clean out the house. Because like what I realized, it's not the food that I like. It's going to that buffet and cleaning the whole fucking thing and asking for more, and also doing takeout and also bringing it back home. Yeah. That's what I want. And there's that process. Yeah. And that's a big part of it. Then you have it and you can give it to more other people, tell them where to get the food. This whole process is so exciting for me. I'm hungry for that. I'm not hungry for the food. And that's the thing. I think hunger, and that's always what I look for And I start to think about, yeah, you want that. How hungry are you, man? Because there's a mentality that's different. For hungry people, they are different. They think differently, they do all kinds of weird shit, man. If you're hungry and you're like, you have no food or your family has no food, people do weird shit, dude. They steal, they do crazy shit that they would never do when they weren't hungry. So that's why people who are like obsessed and who always want to do work, people think, dude, are you sick? Do you need help? You're a problem, man. What about your normal relationship? I was like, dude, when you're super hungry, when you're starving, are you thinking about relationships? I'm not. I'm not thinking about going to the movies. I'm not. I really not. I'm thinking about, oh fuck, I gotta find food. Where, guys, is there someone can eat? Is there McDonald's somewhere? Is there a GPS? Gotta find. I gotta fucking go. I gotta eat.
Yeah.
And that concept is so I can answer for myself. I wake up every day super hungry. I'm like, fuck, I'm starving, man. I need to find some food today. And then all the other parts are just not important. And it's, yes, it sounds weird because you have accomplished a lot, but you don't think about that. And it could be a bad thing too, because you're like never satisfied.
Yeah,
but that's a positive part, I think.
That's the other side. It's like, when is it enough? Like, when can you say it's enough? And that's definitely a different topic. But one thing you taught me, man, is like, if I go to bed at night and I'm like, did I do enough? I always think about Prady, man. I'm like, no, you could probably do more. I always tell myself this, and I always share that message. I'm always like, if you think you're doing enough now, you're probably not doing enough. You can always do more. So that's something that I've always that's a big takeaway.
But find pleasure in that. Like don't sacrifice.
Oh no.
Yeah,
no.
and like enjoy it. Like yesterday I was like it was like 3:45 in the morning. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a nap, go to bed. But I went to bed and I was like, man, I gotta do this design stuff. I gotta do this stuff. I wanted to do a snippet for today because I hadn't done one in a while. I was like, dude, I got some extra time. I have 4 hours. So I posted the snippet that we posted today. I made the whole stuff. I did the whole night, and I posted it at 9:30 in the morning. And it's just like, I had pleasure doing that. And I love it. I love sitting in front of my computer. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm back at it, EM, and I was getting super excited. And so you gotta take pleasure from it too, and it sounds super cliched, but the act of being hungry and getting your food, dude, is like the greatest feeling ever.
No.
One of the greatest feelings I think joys in life we're all gonna experience is emptying a full bladder. Fucking great feeling. You know when you gotta piss really hard?
Oh man.
Oh dude, and you just can't find a restroom, and then you fucking find one.
Dopamine.
Dude, and then dude, so much dopamine gets released. Dude, if I can feel that feeling all the time, that's what I feel when I'm doing work. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, we did it. And I feel so good. I got this band and I flip it, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I did it. It's a dopamine hit for me, and that's the kind of stuff I think you gotta have, not just like it, you gotta have pleasure in it. You like. You like you said, you wake up at 6 in the morning, dude. It's 5:45. Like fuck, when is it 6 o'clock? When is it 6 o'clock? You want to be ready to go at 6. You want to be that excited, and I think and you got to find what that is for you.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm lucky, or like I've worked very hard to be like, I love doing this shit. I love podcasting. I love working. I love this stuff,
And it's taken you, this time to understand what you love to do, and it's taken me this time up until the age of 29 to understand, like, all right,
yes,
this is what I enjoy doing, and there's probably more after this. But you know what? A lot of people don't even take the time to figure that out, and that's how you get stuck, man. I mean, that's I see it all the time, and it's that desire, the hunger, all that. A lot of people just don't. It just dies out. It's like a little flame. Like you, as a kid, you're just so excited about certain things, and as you get older, that excitement just dies because I don't. People stop soul searching. They just stop finding out I don't know. It's tough. It's
really you won't understand it because a hungry man and a satiated man will never see eye to eye. They see the world differently. Yeah. When you're, dude, like sometimes you're done, have a huge ass meal, I walk around, I'm like fucking tired. I was like, dude, I don't want anything to do with food. And you see, the world is different. When I'm hungry, I'm starving, and when I'm fed, my whole world is different. I feel different. I'm a different man. And so those people, we will never see eye to eye. And so like, part of like people who are like successful, they always want to talk about, man, what is about this person? Why is he such a bum? Why doesn't he want to wake up? You can't see eye to eye. We're chemically different. And that's why I gave this example today about hungry people. They move differently. They're just different. You have a different chemical makeup. And that's just like, and so there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like, that's just the difference in mentality. And it's going to matter in like the smallest moments in life. Like sometimes you're like, nah, it's 5:45. You can go to bed and just bang out another snippet, doing something a little else, or you can go to bed. At that moment, a hungry person is going to beat your ass. They kick your ass with a fucking
100%.
hammer. Going to destroy you.
100%. And would you say also for you that you just go to bed? You go to bed, or you call it a day, knowing that you're really becoming the person you want to become.
Yeah.
Is that a big part of it?
Yeah, and it's knowing, and I feel like that when I feel like I've accomplished something. So I have a theory, like a thing, as I've been a kid like this, I will not go to bed until I accomplish certain things. Like I just won't go to bed. If I have to do a paper or write an email and it's not done, I was like, sorry, I'm just not going to sleep. And I had that as a kid, and I just like, if I had set some, it's like today I have a couple things I have to do, and if it's like 11:45, I'm dicking around, I will just not go to sleep. It can be 8 in the morning, I just won't go to sleep because I can't go to rest without knowing that I have accomplished something.
Yeah.
So accomplishment is like a consistent thing that you must accomplish something because you need to deserve that rest.
Yeah.
And I think that's just like a big part for it. But yeah, man, I think the big thing too is also like everyone's different, man, and you know, it's just like what moves you, what gets you out of bed every day, and a big part of this is like purpose. You're a purpose-driven individual. Everything you do, you wake up, you do it with purpose. The way you walk, you do it with purpose. You do a podcast with purpose. You can come to a podcast here too. Oh man, Leo, it's just a long day. We do have to do this. Can we just wrap it up? In 20 minutes? It's not gonna work. You come here. I don't care if fucking having to sleep 4 days in a row. I come in a podcast with a purpose. You come here with a purpose, and so everything you do is intentful.
Yeah.
There's intent behind every action. You can people watching, and some people are walking around wandering mindlessly.
You can see it.
Yeah, but like they don't have somewhere to go. And I always want to have a life. I always have somewhere place to be, always.
Yeah.
And that's very important. Like I have a place to be because I have a destination to go to. When I'm walking down the street, oh, I have to go there because I have a meeting there. I have to go and get my food. I have to go to the gym. There's like a purpose. Obviously, you can stroll around and get a nice walk sometimes, but that's a purpose too. I want to get exercise. So like mindlessly wandering around, having no destination, that's gonna cause you to feel depressed and sad and not so good. Like in Dutch, not so lekker. You know, you're not gonna feel good because you have no purpose. So we must be purpose-driven individuals. And recognizing that is key. And while we're talking about, Leo and I are both in leadership positions, and Leo, you're moving into a very big leadership role, right? With having your own organization. You have a company. You're an owner of a company. Yeah. And so people are going to look to you for advice. And you're also going to have to recruit talent. We talked about recruitment earlier. You're going to have to recruit them. And you're going to have to think and make a split decision in a second. Is that person the guy that's going to get the job done? Or is she the person who's going to get the job done or not? And you're going to have to figure out, like, with like limited information, fuck resume. You can write whatever you want. Fuck the interview. You can game the interview. How are you? What does she say? What does he say? And you're gonna have to find out what that is, and hiring the best people possible. And you're gonna have to find key indicators. And for me, it's like hunger, what purpose, like where's she going, where are they going after? I always ask people, so what are you doing after? As my standard question. And a lot of times people are just like, I don't know. I was like, okay. It's just like I always take a mental note of that because people who are always have somewhere to be or have something to do, even if it's like, hey, I'm gonna go home so I can do X.
Right. Yeah.
It's rarely you're gonna be like, I don't know. I was like, what? What are you doing this Saturday? I don't know.
Strong feeling is also a big part of it. Like, I think Jim Rohn said it. It's like if you.
Jim Rohn. We haven't mentioned this guy in a while, man.
Jim Rohn, man. He lives on forever. You mentioned something about strong feeling and.
Yeah. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, yeah. So if you ask someone exactly that question, like, what are you gonna do after? Oh, I don't know. It's like, oh man, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go eat something very nicely, and I'm gonna get to work. And you know what? I don't know. They just have strong feeling behind their words, and
yes, that's right.
Even if they may be wrong about something, at least have strong feeling about that thing, even though if you're wrong. I think it still matters, you know. That's a trait that I don't find often. I know you have it for sure. I know that I have it to an extent. But there are not really many people that have really strong conviction. I think it's either you have it or you don't. I believe. In my opinion.
Yeah, or they haven't found anything yet worth putting their conviction behind. I do believe that life is, it's like people say, you know, you have 2 birthdays, right? It's the day you're born, and the second is the day you find out why, right? There's 2 birthdays we have. The day we're born, and the second day is the day we find out why. And for many of us, we've only been born, but we haven't found out why yet. Right? And so that's a process, and many of us are going to be on the journey, on the quest of finding out why. And I think if you want to just scale quickly, like I want to know that. I don't want to find out why I'm born like at 90 because I'm like, God, guys, I'm fucking dead now.
Yeah.
I want to find that out when I'm 20 or 18 or 15 so I can spend the rest of my life achieving that why or getting closer to that why instead of just finding what that why is.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of people are still searching for it, and I'm all about it. Like, go through that journey. Do whatever the fuck you got to do. But just know, it's like, I believe, my personal opinion is, it's better off finding out that early and then spending your rest of your life dedicating to it, because you're going to live a very awesome life. And so you can turn someone's life around. You can make them a super hardworking dude. From super lazy, super hardworking. I know why. I was like, dude, all you got to do is you got to find your why. You got to find what moves you. Why were you born, man? Why are you put on this earth? To do what? And so you're going to find it, like, dude, I'm put on this earth to fucking be a sculptor. I was like, I never knew. I was playing video games. I was like, go fucking sculpt. Dude, that person who is now sculpting every day, you're going to wake up not at 9, they're going to wake up at 4. They're not going to take breaks. And so what's awesome is like if you found that, you're gonna understand that. So like I know this is shit I like. I like business. I like talking. I like this is just this. I live the life. This is for me. This is for me. I'm in my zone when I speak on this camera. I can go all fucking day because I love this. And so that's why like I will be here. I will do whatever it takes. And I think that's very important, man. So find out why you're born. You know?
That's a good point. Find out what your contribution is.
Yeah.
And if it's inspiring other people, man. How many messages we get? We get a few. I mean, even with Flickr, man.
Yeah.
Like it's a simple product,
sure,
but people see what we're doing, like with the stories, and you know, we have Instagram, which is a great tool, and Facebook. And they see what we're doing on a daily basis, and what, like, it's almost like creating a little movement. It doesn't have to be Flickr. It could be your personality that you bring people with you. And even my mom, she called me the other day. She's like, it was so cute. She was my mom in Phoenix. She said, "Oh, I want to talk to you and John about a business opportunity." I'm like, "Oh God, okay." So she calls us. She's like, "You know what? And she laid out this whole story when I was 4 years old and how she started she had a communications business in Aruba at the time.
Right.
And she gave us a little story of like, you know, do you remember when you were a kid? I'm like, no, I don't remember when I was a kid. Tell me, please. And she went on about it. And she's like, you know what? I've always been an entrepreneur. And to seeing you guys do this, I know that I'm an entrepreneur. Like, well, that's amazing. That's great. Yeah. And then she got a little emotional. She's like, you know what? Sometimes I just doubt myself, and it's my mom. She's 70 years old, you know, saying this shit. And I was like, afterwards, I was talking to John. I said, what was that all about? Like, what was this? He's like, that's the entrepreneurial spirit, man. It's just it's an infectious. If you can, if show people that you know, you're doing this with Flickr or with Azith or whatever side hustle you're doing, and you're just showing everybody that you just keep on going with it, keep on going, and keep on posting, keep on sharing it. And people just follow you along the way, and they say like, man, even though he's, you know, it may not work, I'm still somewhat inspired. Even if it's just your mom or something, it's crazy.
Yeah, but you know, so that's a fucking beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. I love it. That's great. And I think it's also like, just put it in perspective. Like, what is a large movement? What is it being famous? And I'll give people an example. Like, you could do it in a very small scale. Let's take, for example, if you're one of the biggest influencers on Instagram. Like, well, actually, let's look at Instagram's number. Instagram, a little bit while back, reached a huge milestone. They have 1 billion users on there. I think a lot of them are bots, but there are 1 billion users on there, okay? 1 billion, okay?
Yeah.
Now, if you are one of the biggest celebrities on that entire platform, you have 1 million users. That's a lot. There's only about 1,100 people in all of fucking Instagram who have 1 million users.
1,100?
Yeah. That's crazy. That's 1 million. You have to be a super celebrity, like, top person. The person with the most amount of Instagram followers is Cristiano Ronaldo. He has the most, but like if you have 1 million users, you are fucking powerful and popular, right?
Yep.
But think about it. If there's 1 billion users on Instagram, and you are one of the most popular person on Instagram, you only have 1 million followers. It means that 999 million people have never heard of you.
Yeah.
And so it means that if you ask a random person on the street who uses Instagram, 1 out of 10,000 people. Only 1 out of 10,000 people knows you, even if you have 1 million followers. So what's the point I'm trying to make? I'm trying to make a point that famous isn't what people think. People think famous, everyone in the world knows. It's actually not true. Even if you have 1 million followers on Instagram, most people on Instagram have never heard of you, ever. Fucking don't know who the fuck you are. And the reason why I'm giving this example is because a lot of people want to do this medium, and they're like, I don't know if I want to do a live. Only 10 people watch it. I don't know if it doesn't matter. Because famous, what's famous? Famous is totally subjective. It could be for 20 people. I know people who have 1 million followers who like, I think everyone knows, but they don't, there's 999 million people on Instagram who are not following them.
Yeah.
So how famous are they really, right? So a majority of people have, like 1 out of 10,000 people has only heard of them. That's crazy statistics. So think about that number, and I'm giving that people as an example is like, what does it mean if you have 10,000 people watching or 20,000 people in the spectrum of Instagram landscape?
Yeah,
it's all the same. If even 8 people are watching, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So like, do your lives with 4 people. I do lives right now. Sometimes it's 2 people. I don't give a fuck. I still show up. I got a live done. No one watching. I don't know. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
We do this thing. Maybe 20 people watching YouTube. I don't care. Yeah. Because over time, you're gonna have stories like that, and look how big of an impact they'll make. Look at the stories we've got. We've gotten crazy texts from people.
Man, it's insane.
And even now we don't post often, and when we do post, we get people. It's like, yeah, man, Alyssa, you missed this and this. That's awesome. I don't care if it's 20 people. I really don't. I don't give a fuck, and I think that's really important. I don't care about. I'll lose losses. I don't give a shit. They're mine. If we don't get a single person watching this, that's on me and Leo. I don't give a fuck what you think. Right. And that's really important because Now I want people to stop thinking about that a lot, because I think it fucks with people's head. I don't want to do that because they want to do this, what we're doing, but they don't dare to turn on the on button because like I only have 10 followers, so
Yeah.
who cares?
It's a good example about everybody's. I mean, quarantine. You've heard of Tiger King? You
Yeah,
know that?
of course, yeah.
So everybody's been raving about this
Yeah.
Tiger King thing. That guy, I don't know what's his name, the with the long hair,
Yeah, I don't know
the
his
skinny
name,
dude.
yeah.
I forgot his name. But when he started his little tiger show, and he was doing a broadcast live as well.
Yeah.
Before Facebook was a thing, and before social media was a huge thing, he only had, I think, 60 or 50 people watching it per episode, and there was a huge production that went into it.
Right.
And I mean, that's just an example of he just started with 50, for years, 50 or 60, 70 people would watch it, and now, years, I don't even know if it's a decade later or how long it is. Now he's well known, but he's in prison, and it's kind of ironic. He's always wanted to be famous, and he's only had a couple people watching him, and now he's super famous, and nobody, he doesn't even know how famous he really is, and there was another part to that. Oh, and then we had for Flickr, we're starting to get influencers together.
Let's talk about that.
We're starting to get influencers together for just to get PR, and we found this really cool influencer.
I want to do an overlay of this video while we're doing this of that video.
Oh, let's do it. Oh,
yeah,
we'll attach it. So his name was I'm Thompson, and before PR, I had no clue who he was.
Oh,
so
I did, yeah.
That's why it was the example. He's like, if you have 1 million followers, he has
Yeah.
1.1 million.
Yeah.
I had no idea who he was. Some violinist who has booty shaking. It's great. It's funny. I mean, it's some shit's borderline, I would say. And I'm glad
I've been following his shit for a while. When you told me, I was like, dude, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So, and that same day, he came out with that flamethrower shit. And
that was awesome, by the way.
But that was a good example because I didn't know who he was. I had no clue who he was. And then, John was like, oh, I got this really cool guy. I'm like, who is he? And then, I was like, I have no idea who he is. Looked him up. I was like, 1.1 mil. Is that true? Looked at his views. He gets thousands of views on him. And it just goes to show you that, it doesn't matter if only one person watches. It just matters if you touch. It doesn't matter if you don't just touch one person's life, right? One person's heart. One person's listening. That's all that really matters.
Watch your day change too. Like you can have a shitty day. You watch your day change. You got a shitty day, dude. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life, and all of a sudden you get a message from someone like, "Hey, man, like thanks."
Exactly.
I was like, "Oh fuck."
Yep.
I sit up straight, and now I have purpose, right?
Yep.
And it's like it happens all of a sudden. Like, fuck, dude, I can't be it because you might have like defeatist attitude. Oh, and then you get a message like, "Oh fuck, man, I can't."
Yep.
I'm aspiring people. Like, where's the dry cleaner? I got to take this shit out. I got to get out of McDonald's. I got to do some shit, and it happens like that. So watch your life change with this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's back in the day, man. We always tell you need to be talking to producers, brokers, all these people just to get a touch with like a fucking influencer or just have like a broadcasting station. If you want to do radio back in a podcast, we had to get a fucking radio station. Like, how do we even do that? I don't fucking know. Turn on that shit. Now we got audience, right?
Absolutely.
And I think a big part of like that's another thing too is like how to become successful and like not caring. And the older you get and the more successful you get, you stop caring a lot. And I think that's happened to me. I just don't give a fuck. We all say we all give a fuck. We're social humans, and social people care about what people think about them. Some people say I don't care what people think. It's not true. We all care. We're human beings, but you just care a little bit less. And you're more selective about whose opinion you care about.
Right.
It's like I'll care about the opinion of like my close friends and my parents and like my sister because they're important to me. If they're like, oh, you're super disappointed me. My sister says, I was like, oh shit, like that sucks.
Yeah.
But some part, I was like, I don't care. Yeah. And I think that's really important because it allows you to take risks in life.
Yeah.
And that's huge. Are you taking risks too? And I always tell people, you watch a game of soccer, you cannot win by playing defense in life. Understand that. The best you can do, if you have the best defense in the world, the best you can do is go for a draw. You go 0-0 because you can't score. The only way you win a game is having one more goal than the opponent. And the way you score is to attack. And being defensive will not make you win. At best, you will stay the same. You will tie the game, which maybe that's good for you, or you'll stay the same. But I think many of us are so afraid to take risks. We're in self-preservation mode. We want to preserve. And people who preserve, they do not risk. They're not gamblers. The best, highest, crazy people, they gamble, man. They're always on the offense. They always want more. I also feel like this. As I got more success, I want to take more risk. I want to be more offensive. I want to do a bigger order runs. I'm doing something crazy. I'm doing a 4th of July by the time it's released. I'm going to give away 1,776 units of ads. I'm going to give it a fucking away. That takes balls to do that.
Yeah.
That's like 30, 40,000 unit. I don't give a fuck. I'm just giving it away. I have balls. I believe in that it's going to work. So I'm not promoting that you should do that right away, but I'm saying is I know in life I didn't get here by playing defense.
Right.
I've gotten there, like, yeah, I'll do that. Yes, I get it. I'll do it. I'll do this podcast with Leo. I don't know you. I have no idea who you are. You don't know who the fuck I was. We're gonna take a risk, and we do it, and look where we are.
Yeah.
And so you can't get ahead. And I think it's very important. Defense is a good strategy, but remember, and I like soccer, but it can only get you a draw at best.
Yeah. Very good
And that's
analogy.
very important too, to go for it, man. Like, just go for it. Take a risk. Go for it.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of that mentality thing that's gonna help.
That's a huge one too. I mean, I was gonna say something about like not caring about what other people think about you.
I think you're very much like that. I think you care very less, and you're very. I think some people might describe you as cold, but you're not. You're very you're very selectively ruthless, and it's one great skill set I feel that will help. You don't take shit, I don't think, easily to heart, and I think maybe might be even a Dutch thing, because like we're kind of like, we have dark humor in Holland, and we're just not very easily offended.
Yeah.
And if people say, "Oh man, Dutch people are so fucking rude," they just say, I was like, no, this is just like our way.
I think it's being just very culturally open. It's just being like knowing when and when not to care. I think, and that's just.
Yeah.
But in terms of, getting ahead in life, you're always gonna, care about what your mom says, or if your mom says.
For sure.
But at the end of the day, it's like, how do you care? Like, what do you think about yourself? And then if you have to just make a decision that makes you feel better about yourself, then that's probably what you have to do, without hurting your loved ones or whatever. But
yeah, I always say, I've said this in a story a few times, but you're gonna spend the majority of your life, all of your life actually, 99.9% with yourself.
Yeah.
So if you don't like yourself, my friends, you're fucked.
That's all you need to know.
And so we're also worried. I don't think I like that girl. I gotta live with her. I gotta marry her. Yeah, but even if you're married, you don't spend every waking moment with someone. With yourself, you gotta spend every waking moment. If you don't like yourself, you're kind of fucked. So like, learn to like accept that shit. And I think that's.
And if you don't like yourself, because I've always been there too, there are things you can change about yourself too.
Yeah.
And there's a way to play the game. I mean, we always talk about this. Play the game and learn how to play it. Life is a game, and the better you know how to play it, just know the rules. You don't have to like them. It's like laws. I don't like laws, but you have to obey it. Otherwise,
Gotta wear the mask.
Oh man, crazy shit.
Well, anyways, I think we got some good,
absolutely
good golden nuggets here.
Good
but
stuff.
Talking a lot about leadership and just getting ahead, man, in life, and like, what's the mentality that's required. And as we're changing too, man, in our own lives, personal lives, we're doing the show, sharing that with people, and a prayer promise, which I don't like to break, which I don't break actually, that we're gonna do a better job to promote this content, bring it out to you guys through all mediums possible. So that's why we're changing it up, and there's some really cool shit, man.
Stay tuned. This is we're nearing episode 60, I believe, right?
I don't know, I lost count, man.
I think we're close to 60 for sure.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, man.
Good shit.